I represent Colorado's 4th Congressional District. I know some of you are from the 4th Congressional District. It's a massive district. It borders New Mexico, it borders Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Wyoming. It comes just a few miles away from the city of Boulder to the north of Denver. So it's a huge district. It's over 32,000 square miles. It's bigger than the state of South Carolina. But what makes this district so incredible is the diversity of the economy within it, the diversity of the people within the district. It's an area that has not only, it's ranked, at least the old district before redistricting was ranked the 11th most agricultural district out of the 435 districts in Congress. Some of the nation's top wheat-producing counties, some of the nation's top corn-producing counties are within the 4th Congressional District. It also is home to some of the nation's premier energy developments. If you look at what's taking place in Weld County, new activity in Cheyenne County, Lyman, Lincoln County, some of the traditional oil and gas development, it's leading the state of Colorado. But it's also leading the state of Colorado in wind production, wind development. Some of the newest wind farms in the nation are right at home in the 4th Congressional District. We have solar manufacturing. We have operations in biofuels, and so it really is reflective of a truly all-of-the-above American energy policy, and it's exciting to represent the district there, too. There are 3 kinds of members of Congress, and this is my political science 101 analysis. The first kind is the kind that wants to be in the news, on TV, in the newspaper, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we can all probably guess who they are. The second kind are the people who just want to be in Congress so that when they show up at the county fair, somebody comes up and says, "Hey, Congressman," and as long as that happens, they're perfectly content. And we probably have ideas of who those kinds of people are. The third kind, and I believe this is the majority of members of Congress, are the people who actually have ideas to move the country forward, who have things that they want to do that they believe will solve the biggest questions of our day. They're, I think, the biggest group of people in Congress. And so it's up to us as voters, as policymakers, as leaders, as students, as people who want good things for this country, to figure out how to move that third group to replace the first group, so that the conversation around the Sunday morning talk show, the conversation around the evening news is about somebody's idea instead of somebody's statement.
NREL also has very strong connections to the Colorado research universities, the 3 universities, Boulder, Colorado State, and Mines. We know that Boulder has been working now for the last maybe 5 years or so, I think, to really build up a strong energy program. In fact, in my previous life being defined as up to 16 days ago, when I was at MIT, MIT and Stanford were other members of the university group that was working with NREL, the 3 Colorado State schools plus MIT plus Stanford in building up the programs at NREL. One of our intentions is to significantly increase the way the department works specifically with states, because in the end, when we talk about energy policy in some abstract sense as some national policy, it's no accident that it's been difficult to put together such a policy in a grand fashion, because we have enormous regional differences in terms of energy supply, in terms of energy needs, in terms of energy infrastructure, et cetera.
The challenges of this job when you represent a state that's about 4,000 miles away, how you deal with just the distances, how you deal with keeping in touch with your constituents, and really making sure that you're as connected as you need to be. And the 3 of us agreed that the distance is difficult, but we wouldn't trade it for any other state, because it is such an amazing place, a beautiful state. And I say that I'll arm wrestle anybody over which state is the most beautiful. I think I would be willing to go with Colorado's number 2, though. So just to give you that. Here in the United States Senate, as it is over in the House, this is a game of skins and shirts. You know, you're Republican and you're Democrat. But why do we allow ourselves to be confined and defined that way? If I were to introduce myself to you, do you say, I'm Joe Smith, I'm a Republican, or I'm Frank Smith, I'm a Democrat? No. John Q. Public out there doesn't. We're the only ones that do that. I'm privileged to be able to work with some colleagues in a very bipartisan way on the issue of energy. I am one who believes that we are a strong nation because we're able to keep the lights on. We're able to be in Washington, D.C. in the summertime in a comfortable temperature. We can move around. I can travel from here to home. And we are who we are as a nation because we're able to keep the lights on.
Tim, I mentioned earlier the idea of a Capitol Conference was really generated by the Worst Seminars, which you started back when you had the privilege and honor of being United States Senator from Colorado. And Senator Allard picked up your idea, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to pick it up in turn. And I think you'd be happy to know this is a very diverse group of Coloradans. Half of them come up to me and said, I'm a Republican. I think I'm the only Republican here. Half have come up to me and said, I'm a Democrat. I think I'm the only Democrat here. That's the point, is that we've got a great diverse group of Coloradans. Senator Worth has always had vision. I mentioned his view that not many people could see of the potential for Major League Baseball in Colorado. He led the charge in 1986 for the first Telecom Act that led to, in part to the great technologies we have now with cell phones and the internet. He believes deeply in America's international role. He served in the State Department as a Deputy Secretary of State, and for the last many years has headed the UN Foundation. He and Ted Turner had this bold and audacious idea that they would take $1 billion and give it away in the interest of economic development, empowering women, extending the reach of technology to all over the world. And there's nobody better than Tim Worth when it comes to public service. He's been a public servant his entire life, and I'm truly honored. He's one of my mentors. Thanks for coming over and spending some time with us.
Thank you very much. Great to be here. You know, the idea of nuclear sounds good if you say it fast enough, but it's so incredibly expensive that it probably, is not going to happen. Natural gas is an important bridge fuel, but we really have to put our focus on renewables and efficiency.
Mark Udall's one of my most favorite members of the Senate. He is a joy to work with. He's very centrist in his approach, as I am. And I asked my staff to put together a list of the bills that we've been co-sponsors of each other's bills. And it's more than I have with any other member of the Senate on either side of the aisle. And I think that says a lot about both of us, because both of us believe that if you're going to get things done in Washington, that we do need to work across the aisle. Well, both of us believe very strongly that we have to confront the nearly $17 trillion national debt that we have. That's $53,000 for each man, woman, and child in this country, that we should do so in a thoughtful way. If you needed to cut expenses in your business, you would not cut everything equally. You would not treat all functions and all personnel as if they were the same. And yet, that's essentially what sequestration does. And to make matters worse, it exempts 2/3 of the budget, which are the cost drivers of the budget.